been on YouTube, whether you like him or not, Anton Daniels represents a standard.
Hold up. Just the other day, a wild video landed in my feed, and it came from none other than the YouTuber The Angry Man. The clip is titled, "Discrediting the Standard." Now, you already know I've had a beef with The Angry Man that stretches back almost a decade. It's not popping off like it once did, but trust me, the tension hasn't vanished. That said, this video isn't about me, and it isn't really about him either. So what I'm doing here is reacting strictly to the points he's making. Nothing I drop in this video is a low-key diss aimed at him or his supporters. I'm purely dissecting his argument. He's actually on point, you know? The Angry Man and Anton Daniels, they're tight. They've met up before, even linked on a podcast together. The Angry Man is standing by Anton Daniels because he feels Anton's getting a raw deal. And while I can't break down every single clip, I'll highlight some key points that really stand out.
An individual that is, one, a Christian, so God-fearing man. Two, a black man, right? Three, that does not have any baby mamas.
So listen to this. He kicks off with 3 points in the first part of his defense. And the first one, Anton Daniels is supposedly a God-fearing man and a Christian. Now here's the thing. Anton Daniels isn't calling himself that. The Angry Man is. I jumped on Google and typed in, "What is a God-fearing man?" And check this out. It says, a God-fearing man is defined as a man who lives with deep reverence, awe, and respect for God, prioritizing divine guidance and moral principles over his own desires. And we all know Anton Daniels is a bag chaser. He puts money over literally everything. I mean, the guy would do anything for cash. So based on that definition, does he even qualify as God-fearing? Let's break down some of the other key traits. He's supposed to put God first in his decisions, actions, and relationships. He seeks to live according to biblical standards rather than just following personal feelings or what society says. Respect and reverence. He's meant to hold a humbling respect for God's holiness and power, which drives him to avoid sin. Accountability. He's supposed to believe he'll be held responsible for his actions, which should make him highly trustworthy. I won't read every detail here, but this is basically the AI overview of a God-fearing man. So here's my question for the Angry Man. Does this really sound like Anton Daniels' habits or words? I always roll with a bad chick 100% of the time. I don't step out of town unless I have one with me. But he doesn't know that. He doesn't know that I do what I want when I want. No, that does not sound like a God-fearing man. And let me be clear. Even with my issues with the Angry Man over the years, the guy isn't dumb. He's sharp. You don't stay in this content game as long as he has and be clueless. You just can't. And if there's anyone else outside of Anton knowing the style and intellect of the Angry Man, they'd get eaten alive, no question. He would demolish somebody like this for breakfast. I mean, if I had Anton's issue, he would destroy me. But because he's tight with Anton Daniels, he's out here defending something that can't be defended. Now let's look at some of the other stuff he throws out. Anton is God-fearing, Christian, black, and doesn't have baby mamas. Sure, it's good not to have more kids out of wedlock, but that doesn't excuse the behavior he's been showing. So pointing out that Anton is black or doesn't have baby mamas doesn't matter. None of those traits are on trial. It wouldn't matter if he did have baby mamas or if he was Muslim, whatever. Anton Daniels has been presenting himself to the crowd as a family man. Someone who doesn't make the same mistakes as everyone else. And the truth? He's not living up to that. That's exactly why people are making videos about him. He then goes on to call out the women mocking Anton.
You've been paying attention. You should know exactly why these women, because when you look around at the women that's gossiping about it, all of them fit a particular mold. All of them fit a particular type. Miserable, manless, a healthy hatred for brothers.
Now he claims all these women fit a certain type. They're miserable, manless, and they supposedly hate black men. Some of that might be true. Maybe a few of these women aren't his type. Maybe some are unhappy. Maybe some hold grudges. Who knows? But even if he's right, it doesn't change the reality for Anton Daniels. The real issue? Anton's own behavior created the stage for all this criticism. So pointing fingers at black women, saying, oh, you miserable, you manless, you hate black men, that's just shifting blame to people who aren't even on trial. Black women aren't the ones under scrutiny here. Anton Daniels' actions are. The women didn't start this. They're just reacting and giving commentary on the actual problem. And the problem, plain and simple, is Anton Daniels.
Now they can go back and debunk every argument that he's ever raised. They can use that one little thing to discredit him, and by extension, discredit all of us.
He says that because of Anton's mistakes and flaws, women can easily say married black men are all the same. And on this point, I'm with the angry man 100%. He's dead on. Anton's errors, combined with him presenting himself as a Christian, walking in faith, quoting scripture, all that, make it easy to throw black men under the bus. I agree with that. The problem is, when you're a black man and your actions can impact other black men, it's on you to rise to the occasion. But Anton Daniels hasn't done that. He's been accused by women of trying to sleep with them, pulling shady moves behind the scenes. So if he really wanted to uplift black men, he'd show discipline with these women, and he hasn't. That lack of restraint is exactly why women are making the criticisms they're making. And honestly, I largely agree with this point he's making.
Latch on to that and do entire exposés about Anton Daniels and the possibility of him having a side chick, but you same raggedy, trifling. If I bring up the baby mamas of the community, if I bring up the baby daddies of the community, you know, the individuals that not only have side chicks, but they sleep around with a bunch of different people, passing around disease and all types of shit, and they broke, and they don't employ anybody, and they live on welfare, mooching off of all of our tax dollars. When I bring that up, I gotta shut up. Now you upset.
Y'all latch on to that and start dropping all these exposés about Anton Daniels and the possibility of him having a side chick. Okay, but then you same messy trifling, you know, if he brings up baby mamas and daddies in the community, people who sleep around, suddenly you're upset. Now you don't want to talk about that. And honestly, this is a super poorly thought out argument, because the folks exposing Anton and the side chick situation could agree that the same issues exist in the black community too. What the angry man is really saying here is you're zoomed in on Anton Daniels when there are way bigger problems we should actually be talking about. Focusing all this energy on Anton is tiny in comparison to those larger issues. And by the way, I've actually heard Anton Daniels speak on these exact topics in the black community.
Don't have any real heroes for the culture, right?
He says we don't have heroes in the black community. Well, listen, if you're the leader of the bag chasers, here's your chance to set the standard in the black community. Know that you could be that standard. Why? Because you just said you walk with God. Jesus Christ is supposedly your standard, your example, the blueprint for your life, which, let's be real, is a complete lie, but that's what you claim. The point the angry man has to understand is that Anton Daniels has put himself on a higher moral ground than the people he's pointing at, the baby mamas and baby daddies in the community. We don't know if they're hypocritical, but we do know Anton is. If he came out and said, look, I'm just like you, I'm a sinner, nobody would care. That's not his move. Instead, Anton's over here saying, I got money, y'all lazy, I'm ballin', married to the same woman for 20 years, my daughter's perfect, painting this picture of himself as ultra-conservative, super disciplined. But at the core, he's doing the same stuff as everyone else, whether they have kids or not. And for that, Anton deserves every bit of criticism because he put himself up as untouchable. Now, I get the angry man's defense, and yeah, he makes some solid points here, but it's mixed with a ton of straw man arguments. Some parts had good articulation, I'll give him that, but most of it was defending the indefensible. And again, the angry man is sharp, not dumb at all. If this were me, or anyone else, or even Kevin Samuels, someone he didn't like, he'd be all over them for breakfast. It would be a slam dunk. He would demolish anyone else dealing with the same problems, literally eat them for lunch. Now, the angry man, as I said, is not dumb. If you dropped this on his desk about someone he had an issue with, you'd be in for a long day. But because it's Anton Daniels, he's out here defending the indefensible. And here's the truth. If someone shows up to the public portraying one thing and living another, calling them out for hypocrisy doesn't make you the culprit. The angry man wants to flip it and make the person pointing fingers the bad guy. But these black conservatives, they always call out black people for shielding criminals, not snitching, or committing fraud in the community. Isn't that exactly what the angry man is doing? He's repeating the same behavior Anton Daniels constantly criticizes, which isn't fair. If Anton wants accountability, he has to face the music, like the Pookies and Ray Rays he expects to face every day in the black community. So what do you think, fam? It's your boy Jackson back at it again with another episode of Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you hitting that bell. We're out.